Hi guys, and welcome to part 2 of 3 of the FT500 flat tracker build. So to bring you up to speed on where we are now, there's the bike is at the hump stage, or just after the hump stage. What do I mean by the hump stage? That low part maybe, where a lot of projects end up going on eBay as unfinished projects. It's that part, or the hump is just after that part where you've taken everything off and you're just starting to put things back together. So you're climbing a hump and everything then is heading towards a completed bike, hopefully. In this episode, there's not going to be a lot of video itself other than me being a talking head. But I've put together a sequence of stills. Now the stills will appear picture in picture as I'm talking, relevant to what's going on. But also at the end of the video, there'll be full-size images of the stills. So a list of what's gone on with the bike so far, not in any particular order. So the front forks have been refurbished and rebuilt. Also on this model, if you're not aware, it's also got air suspension as well as a conventional oil and spring. That's all been redone. New seal's gone in there. It's pumped up to, I think it's 5 psi, but I could be wrong on that one. And it's held pressure over a number of months, so I've got to say that's done and dusted. As you can see, or maybe not, and we'll come back in a little bit more detail, there's been one or two alterations, modifications to the bike as well. Nothing substantial, but more to do with the aesthetic or cosmetic of it starting to look like a street tracker. I put together what I'm going to call a street tracker headlight unit. You can see the construction. It was made up of one-off parts. I can only describe it as that. And I think when it's all come together, it works. It's pretty good. The lighting works, and I think the aesthetic works as well. I've also replaced the indicators or flashes, depending on where you are in the world, with more modern LED units. They work better. There's less current draw on the electrical system. Little bit of monkeying about to get them to work because they're not quite as the same as an incandescent bulb, but got there in the end and it works, and I think it looks better as well, and it gives it a slightly more modern look. Also the rear light, brake light and number plate, license plate light are also LED. It just adds that little touch of modernisation to it, and LEDs do tend to perform better, as we know. I've left the air filter box and plenum intact, other than the modification that I showed in episode 1, which is here, which allows easier access to the carb synchronization screw. History and experience with CV carbs tells me that if you don't monkey around with the air intake side too much, there's no need to rejet. That's not a golden rule, it's just something that I've found over the years. I have put together an exhaust system and done away with the collector box, but we'll come back to that a little bit later. I suppose in terms of maintenance of the bike, and it perhaps should have been in episode 1 really, we've also checked and reset the valve clearances, or tappet clearances if you're an old man like me, and also changed the oil in the drive unit for the shaft unit. Use a commercially purchased street tracker or flat tracker tailpiece. What we didn't have was a seat base that would fit that and this bike, so we made one up out of fiberglass. It's a while since I've done any fiberglass construction, but it soon came back. Now that seat base will now go away to be professionally upholstered. A new paint design will be one of the most obvious changes, aesthetic changes to the bike. But secondly, the exhaust system. What I did, I've reused the downpipes or headers, again, what part of the world you're in, and I've wrapped those in titanium webbing. Took a lot more material than I realised. In the end, we used 20 metres, sort of 10 metres on each pipe, but that was to give us a really close, tight overlap and wrap. What I've put together does away with the collector box and goes straight into the stubby silencers, as you can see. Used CAD design to make up some brackets to fit the silencers to the bike, and by CAD we mean cardboard aided design. But it works. It's easy to make a mock-up, and then obviously we make that out of aluminium. In episode 1 you'll have seen the bike running, and it did have the exhaust system on. Now it was fairly easy to sync the carbs and actually tune the carbs on the air screw. So that tells me that we kind of must be okay now, not too far out on the jetting. I go back to an earlier comment in this video that normally with CV carbs you can get away, as long as you don't mess around with the air intake side, an exhaust system you can get away with, you know, a bit more modification. When the bike is up running and riding, I will tune the carbs a little bit more. Sometimes you need to be, for the bike to be ridden, to really dial the carbs in, but I really don't think they're too far off. So really that's the end of this episode. Short episode. It was really just to update where we are with the bike. Episode 3, the next episode 3, will be the bike finished, up and running, MOT'd. Right, for those outside of the UK, an MOT is a certificate of roadworthiness from a government approved testing station. I also need that to be able to register this bike in the UK. It was previously a US bike. So thanks for watching this video, and well, bye for now.